Nice to meet you again. I'm Dr. Zhang from Shantou University Medical College. This week, we'll talk about the endocrine system. Here are the learning objectives. After we finish this chapter, you will be able to outline the regulation of hormone secretion, describe the biological effects and regulation of hormones from the pituitary gland, thyroid and parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, and pancreas. Predict clinical manifestations caused by abnormal secretion of these hormones. We have already discussed how the nervous system regulates body functions by sending out nerve impulses and integrates information received from the spinal cord. The other regulating system of body functions is the endocrine system, which consists of endocrine glands that secrete chemicals called hormones. In general, the endocrine system and its hormones help to regulate growth, food utilization, resistance to stress, the pH of body fluids, and fluid balance, as well as reproduction. In this chapter, we will discuss the specific functions of these hormones and how each contributes to homeostasis. Hormones can be classified into three groups according to their chemical structure: amines, proteins, and steroids. Amine hormones, including thyroxine, epinephrine or adrenaline, and non-epinephrine or non-adrenaline. Protein and peptide hormones like insulin, growth hormone, calcitonin, antidiuretic hormone, and oxytocin. Steroid hormones, including cortisol, aldosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Hormones are secreted by endocrine glands when there is a demand from their respective target organs. The cells of endocrine glands respond to changes in the blood level of its own product, or perhaps to other hormones in the blood. These demand signals enable the cells to either increase or decrease production of their own hormones. When a hormone brings about its effects, the stimulus is often reversed, and the secretion of the hormone decreases until the signal recurs. You may recall from Chapter 1 that this is a negative feedback mechanism. Let's use insulin as an example here. Insulin is secreted by the pancreas when the blood glucose level is high. That is, hyperglycemia, such as after a meal, is the stimulus for the release of insulin. Once in the circulation, insulin enables body cells to extract glucose from the blood so that it can be used for energy production. Insulin also enables the liver to store glucose as glycogen. As a result of these actions of insulin, the blood glucose level decreases, reverse the stimulus for insulin release. Insulin secretion then decreases until the blood glucose level increases again. Every day, our blood glucose fluctuates as we eat or drink. A rise in blood glucose stimulates insulin secretion, and a drop shuts it off. It is through insulin that our blood glucose is maintained within a normal range. In any hormonal negative feedback mechanism, the effect on the target is fed back to the gland to switch off the stimulus, so its hormone production is reduced. This is why the mechanism is called negative. Hormones are potent chemicals, and they exert profound effects on their target organs, even at very low concentrations. Hormones circulate in the blood in two forms, free or bound to a protein carrier. In general, lipid-soluble hormones such as steroids and thyroid hormone travel in the bloodstream attached to plasma proteins. Most others circulate without carriers. How long does it take for a hormone to have an effect? It varies. Some hormones provoke target organ responses almost immediately, while others, particularly steroid hormones, require hours or days before their effects are evident. Additionally, some hormones are secreted in a relatively inactive form and must be activated in the target cells. The duration of hormone action varies, but is generally limited, ranging from 10 seconds to several hours. Effects may disappear rapidly as blood levels drop, or may persist for hours, even at very low hormone levels. Because of these many variations, hormonal blood levels must be precisely and individually controlled to meet the continuously changing needs of the body. Understanding hormonal effects is a bit more complicated than you might expect, because multiple hormones may act on the same target cells at the same time. In many cases, the result of such an interaction is not predictable, even when you know the effects of the individual hormones. Here, we will look at three types of hormone interaction: permissive, synergistic, and antagonistic. Permissiveness is the situation in which one hormone cannot exert its full effects without another hormone being present. For example, reproductive hormones mainly regulate the development of reproductive system, as we might expect. However, thyroid hormone has a permissive effect for normal timely development of reproductive structures. Insufficient thyroid hormone delays reproductive maturity. Synergism occurs when more than one hormone produces the same effects at the target cell, and their combined effects are amplified. For example, both glucagon and epinephrine cause the liver to release glucose into the blood. When they act together, the amount of glucose produced is about 150% of that generated from either alone. Antagonism occurs when one hormone opposes the action of another hormone. For example, insulin, which lowers blood glucose levels, is antagonized by glucagon, which raises blood glucose level. How does antagonism occur? Antagonists may compete for the same receptors, act through different metabolic pathways, or even, as noted in the progesterone-estrogen interaction in the uterus, cause downregulation of the receptors for the antagonistic hormone. That's all for the brief introduction of the endocrine system. We'll discuss a few typical hormones in detail in the following sessions. Thank you, and see you next time.